to Next Generation. We are here to provide you with an exciting DIY.
Today we're making nesting tables.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
I was like, what's a nesting table, really?
So we've never made tables before. This will be a first.
Oh my God, that's right. We made a bench, a table. No table, right? Wait, have we made a table?
We made the concrete table, but that was a little bit different.
That was like a workbench.
Yes.
Not a bench, because you sit on a bench.
So this is not only a brand new thing for us that we're making, but we're adding a curveball to it because it's gonna be 2 tables that are nesting tables, which means one can go under the other, which is pretty cool. We're excited about it.
So wait, any table could be a nesting table if it just slides under the other one?
I don't know.
Do you guys know what a nesting table is? I didn't know. But it makes sense, right? Like if you got a table and you nest it right under the other one, that's nesting.
So these tables can be used in so many different ways. A few ideas, you can use them as a coffee table, side tables, you can use them in your bedroom. We're gonna be using them in our podcast room, which is actually this room right
Pretty
here.
exciting. We've got this awesome wall that we built right next to us that you can't see, and you can see how these podcast tables are gonna tie in. So go ahead if you haven't already and click that subscribe button so you can stay tuned, and you'll get a notification when we come out with that podcast video so you can see how these tables are actually gonna be set up and put to use.
And hit the bell so you are actually notified when we're posting.
Yeah, that's right.
So as usual, we're first gonna start with all the materials you need to make this.
This one is pretty simple. You don't need a lot of material, and we'll give you a little variation if you want to change it up, because we're doing it a little bit different than what we've seen around town. But we're doing it different. We like to be different.
Yes, we have seen this design of tables, but we're just adding a little bit of a twist, doing it a little different, and adding the nesting feature to it as well. So we're excited about it. Hopefully it comes out right and they are actually able to nest. That would be nice.
Okay, I've already got a solution just in case that doesn't work out.
So we're gonna start with everything that we need to make it extremely inexpensive, like almost all of our DIYs.
All right, first up, wood.
So we're gonna be using 2x4s, super inexpensive studs.
This is pretty much all you need. You could build it completely out of 2x4s, but this is how we're changing it up. Let me grab the other piece of wood that you will need if you decide to do it our way. All right, so next up, I know this looks just like the other board, but when you do it like this, it's not. This is a 1x4. Those were 2x4s. So these are the only 2 types of wood that you will need for this video. Super simple.
So we're gonna be building 2 tables total. Like we mentioned, they're gonna be nesting. So we ended up getting 14 2x4s and 7 1x4s. So if you just wanna make 1 table, you would cut that in half. You can also build the entire thing with 2x4s instead of using 1x4s at all because they're a little bit more expensive.
Yep.
But we will show you why we didn't end up doing that because it does make a difference in your table. So stay tuned on the different variations of how to make this, but that's how we're making ours.
If I was sitting at home like you right now, I would be wondering, what's the difference between the 1x4 and the 2x4? I don't really see where they're going here.
You'll see.
You'll see, it's all gonna come together. It's really cool.
So you're wondering how we're gonna put this together, right? And the way we're gonna do that is with wood screws. So we have 2 different sizes here. We have 2.5 inch exterior screws and 1 1/4 inch. So you'll need both of these.
Unless you go with the only 2x4 route, then you only need 2.5 inch screws. To finish this thing off and make it look really good, wood stain. What color did we get?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Honey.
Honey 272.
Beautiful.
It really is.
We're gonna be using cheesecloth to apply our wood stain. I used to use foam brushes, which you can also use that, but we want it to be really transparent so we can see the wood grain through it and you can tell that it's wood, whereas when I use the foam brush, it completely covers up the wood. So if that's what you want, then use a foam brush, but I want it to be really light and not as thick of a coat. So I'll be using a cheesecloth to apply that. First timer here using this, so I'm excited about it. I'll probably wear a glove to apply so that I don't get wood stain all over my fingers, but that's everything you'll need.
Shout out to you guys in the tips and comments. I really appreciate those. That's actually where we got this idea from. We were always using foam brushes, didn't know right or wrong. We were just like, this works. And Jen one day was like, look at this cool comment. You're supposed to wipe it. So we're gonna give it a shot. Thank you guys for the tips. We love your tips. Tips in the comments.
And also, if you are gonna use this as a coffee table or in a high traffic area, then you can always seal it, do like a waterproof seal on there so that if you're putting drinks or something on the table, it's not gonna leave marks on there. So seal it if you would like. We may end up doing that later down the road, but as of today, we're not sealing it.
One other thing that comes to mind, if you've got wood floors and you're worried about it maybe scratching, you can get some felt bottoms or some rubber stoppers to put as your feet underneath so your 2x4 structure isn't sitting on your wood. We've got tile, so we're not too worried about that, but just a tip, you can find it at your hardware store and they're really cheap.
So that's all you'll need to build these tables. We're gonna go ahead and get started because we are so excited about this. We have been waiting to build these and today's finally the day. So we're gonna get outside and start building. So we'll be making 2 different tables like we mentioned 200 times already in this video. And they're gonna be 2 different, if I say 2 one more time. And they're gonna be 2 different sizes so that they can nest. Our smaller table is gonna be 21 inches tall by 2 feet wide, so 24 inches wide by 18 inches. So we want it to be kind of rectangle rather than a perfect square. So that's the size we're going with the shorter table. And then the taller table is gonna be 25.5 inches tall by the same 24 inches by 18 inches. We wanted to give you the measurements in case you wanna follow along. If you want your tables the same size, if you don't, then you may need to make some conversions to our measurements to make it whatever size table that you're going for.
Now, when I go into building, I will show you how I calculated these lengths so that if you want to build your table in a different length or a different size, then you'll be able to do that with no problem. I'll give you some tips and tricks that'll make it easy.
All right, so we're first gonna start with measuring everything out so that we can go ahead and cut it. We're gonna build 1 table at a time so that it doesn't get too complicated, and we wanna have the first one built so that when we go to build the second one, we can double check that it will fit underneath. These tables are a little bit different because they aren't gonna be just 4 legs, so it's kind of hard for us to explain to you guys.
Here's what I think. I think I'm gonna tell you how to build one part, and then you're gonna repeat that process and attach that to itself, and that will make the table. I know, you're probably like, what the heck? But just stick with us for a second, okay? All of your legs for the 2x4s are gonna be 17.5 inches. So that's the cool part. That's what I mean by repetitive. So for this first piece of the entire table, we need 2 legs, 17.5 inches, and 1 24 inch, because it's 2 feet wide, right? 24 inch 2x4. So that's 3 pieces of wood, 2 17.5, 1 24. Now once you have that, you're gonna repeat that piece over and over again until
it's the
width that you want, right? So I think that makes sense. If it doesn't, you'll see it when it comes together.
We want ours about 18 inches. It's okay if it's not exact. We're just gonna try to get as close to 18 as possible. So we're gonna repeat that until all of them stacked together is around 18 inches.
All right guys, so we've got those 3 boards cut. Now we're ready to cut our 1x4. The 1x4 is gonna also be a leg, but it's not 17.5 inches like our other legs, right? Because it actually needs to sit at the top of the table, which is 21 inches. So we're gonna cut our 1x4s at 21 inches, and these are gonna go in between our 2x4 pieces. And so that's what we mean by repeating the process. You're gonna have your 2x4 structural piece, and then your 1x4, and then your 2x4, and your 1x4, and you keep repeating that process until you reach your desired length, or your desired width of your table.
Yep, so ours is gonna be as close to 18 inches as possible, so we're just gonna continue stacking this pattern until it ends at a 2x4, because I would like the 2 ends to be 2x4s. We're gonna try to get that as close to 18 inches as possible. We mapped it out, drew it on a piece of paper, and it's around 16.25 inches. So 8 2x4s with a 1x4 in between each one gives us about 16.25 inches as our width of the table.
All right, so now that we've got our 2x4 piece and our 1x4 spacers, we're ready to go ahead and assemble this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our 2.5 inch screws, use those for the 2x4s to assemble that piece together, and then we can take our 1.25 inch screws and attach the spacers to the 2x4 legs.
And the trick to this is you don't want any screws showing from the outside of your table.
Yes.
So we're gonna be doing pocket holes in order to assemble our 2x4s, and we're gonna do them from the inside so that once we add our 1x4, it's gonna cover up that screw head and you're not gonna see any holes. So that's how we're gonna do our studs. And then our 1x4s, you can just screw directly into it if you would like, because you're not gonna end up seeing that since it's on the inside of the table.
Right.
So be strategic on how you screw it together. You can also add wood glue before screwing and add that extra support if you would like, but just make sure you're aware of where your screws are going so that you don't see them and it doesn't blow the cover of how you put together your table.
I'm really excited for the pocket screws. Jen bought a pocket screw kit.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, she bought a pocket.
I don't know what it is.
One of those kits where you can use it for the pocket screws, because I've been doing it without the kit and it doesn't look that good or work that well. Jen has tried this little tool. I haven't, so this is my first time. I've always wanted to use this. I've broken so many bits trying to achieve this look, so finally we'll be doing it right. Very excited, so that's cool. I'm excited to use that.
Yes, and everything that we mentioned in this video, all materials and supplies will be linked down below in the description in case you're interested in anything that we show you guys, including the pocket hole template kit.
All right, so here's our first leg with the spacer attached. You can kind of see how this pattern is going to continue to come together as our table. So this piece built over and over again will be your table, but obviously because we have the spacer on the end of this one piece, you'll have to add one more 2x4 additionally to the end when you get to your desired length, so account for that. And then that's your table. 2x4s and 1x4 spacers, and look at that.
It's beautiful.
Well, it's just one piece right now, but you can just see it, right? Because I see it.
I see it.
So we're getting there.
You'll see it.
And I was just thinking, man, this cheesecloth is gonna get stuck to the wood, but make sure you sand your wood
Oh, we forgot that
before
step.
you stain it. So yeah, we're excited to stain, but we're gonna take a step back, okay, rewind.
Yes, you don't
And
want
we're gonna
splinters.
sand our table. We're gonna sand it really good too, because this is a table. We don't want splinters. I don't wanna put my arms on it and get splinters in my arm. And I don't want splinters in my cheesecloth either, all right? So we're gonna sand it up real good, and then we'll use
Wood
our
staining.
cheesecloth to wood stain.
Our table's complete. I love how it ended up coming out. You can always paint it or whatever you would like, but we're staining it today, which we don't always do, so I'm excited about this.
And we're doing it with cheesecloth and not foam brushes, so cool.
Yep.
That is it for our first table. Do you like it?
I like it.
I love it. That was fun. I had fun filming that, so I know you're gonna have fun watching.
So now that our first table is finished, I'm gonna give you the measurements for the second table.
Right, and it's not that different from the first one. The only thing that's gonna change is the length of your legs for the 2x4s and the 1x4s, don't forget.
So for our 2x4s, these are gonna be 21 inches tall, and then we're gonna have our 24-inch piece on the top, just like our other table.
Yep.
And for the 1x4s, it's gonna be 25.5 inches tall for each side. So 21 inches for two 2x4s, 25.5 for the two 1x4s, and then one 24-inch 2x4 for your tabletop.
If you really want to build this table and you're having trouble getting the measurements that you need, leave down in the comments below what you're trying to achieve, and we'll do our best to draw something up to kind of help you work through that project. So leave the comments in below. You're not alone. Next Generation is here to help you guys build the next generation of your enhancement of the house, right? Because that's what we're here for. So we check all the time and we will respond. Unless they're rude, we'll laugh at you and then probably just go ahead and delete it.
And delete you.
I like it nested. I like it. I think it looks really good.
You can nest it as far in or out as you'd like.
And if you don't like the nesting, just go ahead and turn your table on the side and cut the legs shorter, and now you got two tables same height.
Leave comments down below on what you would have added or how you would have made your nesting tables or how you're gonna use them. I think a really cool idea would be to make giant versions of these and have it as a dining table. That could be cool.
That would be cool.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see y'all in my next video.
Bye guys.